Hi, this is King of Review. Find the points of intersection between y equals 4x plus 8 and x squared plus y squared equals 36. One method for solving this problem is to use substitution. We have an equation for y, which is right here, y equals 4x plus 8. We're going to substitute the 4x plus 8 into the second equation for y, right here. So we have x squared plus y squared equals 36. Notice I left an open space for y. So I'm substituting the 4x plus 8 for y. That goes in the parentheses. Now let's expand this portion. X squared plus 4x plus 8 times 4x plus 8 equals 36. We have x squared plus, and I'll use FOIL to multiply this out, 16x squared plus 32x plus 32x plus 64 equals 36. Now combine like terms. 17x squared plus 64x plus 64 equals 36. I want to get a 0 on one side of the equation, so let's move the 36 to the left. I'll subtract 36 on both sides. Now I have 17x squared plus 64x plus 28 equals 0. Now this equation is in the form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. When we have an equation in this form, we can use the quadratic equation to solve for x. The quadratic equation is x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, and this is all divided by 2a. The a, b, and c values come from these numbers here. So on our equation, a equals 17, b equals 64, and c equals 28. Let's apply these values to the quadratic equation. X equals negative 64 plus or minus the square root of 64 squared minus 4 times 17 times 28, and this is all divided by 2 times 17. When you simplify, you get negative 64 plus or minus the square root of 2,192, all divided by 34. So you're going to have two values for x. One will be calculated using this plus sign, and the other is calculated using the minus sign. Use your calculators, and you solve for x. You get x equals negative 0.51, and x equals negative 3.26. So these are the two x values. These represent the x-coordinates of the points of intersection. Now let's find the y-coordinates of the points of intersection. To do this, we'll plug in these x values to either one of these two equations and solve for y. I'm going to choose this first equation. So y equals 4x plus 8. I'm going to plug in the first x value, f of negative 0.51. This equals 4 times negative 0.51 plus 8, and this equals 5.96. So we have a point of intersection at negative 0.51, 5.96. This is our first point of intersection. Now let's plug in our second x value, f of negative 3.26. This equals 4 times negative 3.26 plus 8, and this equals negative 5.04. So we have a point of intersection at negative 3.26, negative 5.04. And this is our second point of intersection. Letter A is correct. So what we did here is solve this problem algebraically using substitution, but you can also solve it by graphing. You could enter both of these equations into your graphing calculator and see where they intersect. I'm going to do a rough sketch of what they look like here. So our first equation is y equals 4x plus 8. We know that this is a line because it's in the slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. So let's plot this. We have our x-axis here and our y-axis here. Okay, so let's plot this line first. The y-intercept is 8, so that means it crosses over the y-axis at 8. We'll put a point there. And it has a slope of 4. This means up 4 over 1. So that would be right about here. So we can use these points to draw our line. So here's a rough drawing of our line here. And now let's look at the second equation. X squared plus y squared equals 36. We know that this is a circle because it's in the form x squared plus y squared equals r squared, where r is the radius. This circle has a center that's at the origin, and let's figure out what the radius is. If r squared equals 36, we know that the radius must be 6. We're just solving for r to figure this out. So the radius is 6, so it's going to pass these points here. So I'm just doing a rough sketch of what the circle could look like here. So our circle is in red, our line is in black, and where do they intersect? Well, there's a point of intersection here, and there's one here. So we can see that we have points of intersection at these 2 points. Thanks for watching.